The book of Jonah in my Bible is just 1.5 pages long. So short, and yet it is full of pointers to Jesus. It talks about who we are, talks about what God wants to do in our lives, the message that He wants to bring, and it is an amazing book. So I want to recap the sermons of the last 3 weeks, including the one of the last week, in three little videos that will give you the chance to kind of catch up. And if you want to look at the whole thing, you know, have a look at the links below and then recap. And I will always give a little application at the end of this mini preaching that should not be longer than a minute. Okay, 5 minutes. So let's go. I don't have much time. V- Chapter 1 starts like this. The word of of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh, preach against it because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran away from the Lord, headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship and bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went abroad and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Then the Lord sent the great wind from the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried to his own God, and they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. All right. Jonah is called to go up to Nineveh. He, Jonah, the son of Amittai, was a prophet of the people of Israel, and he had prophesied something really amazing previously. Something like God wants to bless you, wants to enlarge your territory. Everybody loves that message like that, especially the people of Israel, right? Now, God does something opposite now. He said, "Oh, I'm going to trust you with the opposite message. Go to your enemies, the people of Nineveh, who are evil. They are becoming a superpower that's going to take everybody by violent force and torture everybody. Go to those people and tell them that I've seen their evil and I'm going to confront them." That would be like 1940s uh, Jew flying into Germany, into Nazi Germany, and tell them about their evil has been seen by God and God is going to respond. Jonah is like, no, not doing that. And instead of going up to Nineveh, he goes down. He goes down to Joppa, town on the other side, into the other direction, with the aim to go into far away lands on the other side of what he thought that was the world, right? And then he goes from going down to Joppa, he goes down into a ship, and from down into the ship, he goes down into the belly of the ship, and he falls down into sleep. He just goes down, 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 down. Because while he's on the run from God, while he is afraid to actually do what he wants to do, and maybe even knows that God is going to respond to whatever he has called him to do, he is just sinking deep. He's just sinking lower and lower. And I think that's the nature of rebellion. No matter how far you want to run from God, first of all, God is going to reach you. Secondly, it's going to go lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and going down. Um, a couple of observations as well. Um, the Lord sent a wind, but this is not a wind to destroy everybody. He is doing something, and we'll see that in a minute. Jonah is running away from God, who is everywhere. How can you do that, right? How can we run away from a God that we know is everywhere? Here's the application. What can you do today that looks, smells, feels like obedience? Obedience is when you do something that you absolutely don't want to do, but you know it's the right thing. That is the challenge, because if you already want to do it, right? If you're like, yeah, this is easy, this is cool, this is not submission. This is some form of agreement. True obedience is when you go to a place, when you do something that you don't want to do in the first place, but you still do it. Where can you obey God today? Because running away is not an option.